p.m. Eastern, 8:05 p.m. Central, and 6:05 p.m. on the West Coast, which is the best coast, especially this time of year. I'm Ben. How you doing? Welcome back after a week off. I am pleased to announce my guest, a new friend, although I've been aware of him for quite some time in the YouTube realm, Mr. Kennis Russell of Mr. Kennis Russell. Yay!
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me, Ben. I really appreciate kind of giving exposure to my situation, and you're the man.
Well, hell, I try, and like we were saying off air, it was a terrible situation, and hell, if we can help one person avoid what you went through that's watching, because we do get the fellow YouTubers watching as well, like, let's spread the good word and build your channel back up to where it was. Last time I checked, I think you're right at about 2,000 subscribers.
You know what? I haven't even looked today, but that sounds about right. Let me look here. I was at 1979 or something the last time I checked, but yeah. So I don't know if you want to. There's probably some people that don't know what's happened or what was going on.
Yeah, I'm going to get into that right after I do a roll call here, because if they took the time to tune in and say hi, the least we can do is say hello back.
Absolutely.
First we have in the chat is Nick KB Music. That was on here about a month ago. How you doing, Nick? We've got Terry's GG&G, the moderator to the stars and me. SD Design tuning in from San Diego. Absolute Mayhem from just down the road in Napanee. We've got Paul Liu, who was live streaming earlier today. Caught some of that. He's down in Florida. Let's see. We've got the man himself, the tone guru, LPD Pedals in the chat. Hey, Lawrence. He's enjoying his new Fuji and Les Paul. We have the original Paramutant. And this is all just before the show even started. There's Joe Hervey out of Long Island. Good to see you, Joe. Tom Harhigh. You crazy guy, you. Adam D. Eddie Van Haskell, Jack the Rabbit, can't stay. He's going to check the replay because he has to work early. Fair enough. Harley Hacks, good to see you. BC Rich 581, always a pleasure. All right, there's Jack the Rabbit again. For a guy who was going to sleep, he's still in the chat. There's Upside Down. Good to see you, man. Let's see. Scrolling. Adam D, Guitar Man 45, Dan in New Jersey, Maurice, Six String Brian, Fruitcake Tony, Half Ace. Whew. Down and back with Corn Dog, Cousin Doug. Marks those images. Hello. Yes. Awesome. Hey, Gary Tholander, my security guard. Good to see you guys, one and all. So, yes, if you haven't seen already, Terry is going to be posting the link to Kennis's new channel here in the chat. So please subscribe if you're into guitar at all. And there's my lovely sister. And, yeah, why don't we... We'll back up about a month and a half, 2 months ago, I guess, when all this fun started for you.
Yeah. So it was in the middle of December. I went on to log on to my YouTube channel in YouTube Studio on my phone, which is usually how I do most of my stuff, unless I'm uploading. And I opened up YouTube Studio and it showed 0 subscribers, no content, no playlist, no people. It was like a blank slate. And so at first I wasn't too concerned about it. I thought somehow that the app got disconnected or something, and so I uninstalled the app and reinstalled it, and the same thing went on the YouTube app, and saw that just my normal YouTube, I know people that I had even subscribed to. It was like a new, like if you were to just start to sign up for YouTube. Then I opened up my laptop, and then I was like, I couldn't get into my channel, and I just had no access whatsoever. So it would be like me trying to log into, somebody else's channel. There was nothing connected. So I went to, I frantically started Googling, and I found I guess it was some sort of thing that YouTube does, the site that I could chat with somebody. Started chatting and saying, hey, I can't get into my YouTube channel. I chatted back for about 5 or 10 minutes with this person. And then they said, well, send me some links of screenshots of what you're looking at. So I sent some screenshots over via email. And once it went over to email side of things, that was the last of the immediate communication that I had with YouTube. fact, I tried to do a chat again later on that night, and I said, "Hey, I emailed this person, but I haven't heard back." And they said, "Well, he'll be back to you within 24 hours." And I said, "Man, I don't think I could wait 24 hours." And they said, "Well, that's what you got to do." And I mean, had I known what I know now, like I would have been ecstatic to have anything communicated in 24 hours, or less than 24 hours. So basically, that started a chain of emails that is, I don't know how many long now. It's been almost 2 months since that happened, or a month and a half since that happened. And it was basically, I determined that someone had hacked into my YouTube channel. The way YouTube works is you have an email address. Everybody's channels like this. You have an email address associated with that channel, but then you could add multiple people's email addresses to it. And so I think what the hacker did was somehow got into my account, added their email address to my account, and then deleted me off as the administrator of the account. So that happened for about 3 weeks, and every day emailing back and forth to YouTube, and they just didn't really, they didn't have any answers. And so after about 3 weeks, I really started to there was no movement or anything happening to the channel. All the videos were still up there. It was just like I hadn't posted anything as far as anyone else was concerned. And I started to watch some videos of different people on YouTube that have had their account hacked before. And then I started to get a little worried because apparently the thing happened to me has happened to multiple people. I guess what happens is when they hack your account, they're trying to do this with, thousands of monetized accounts. And then what they'll do is sell it to somebody on the black market. And then that person will spam your channel full of any kind of video. And it's all copywritten video. But what their hope is to change the AdSense to the payment to go to their account. And then they just try to get as many views and as much watch time as they can in a short period of time.
Right.
So for the next 6 days, my channel had 300 videos on it, and in 6 days they uploaded 1,600 more videos to it. There was like Monday Night Raw, WWE, this weird Thai Asian anime.
Yeah, there's a lot of Thai anime. Yep.
A lot of anime stuff. There was like Judge Judy on there, 90 Day Fiance, like weird stuff. In fact, Ben, you were the one that when I was looking through this, I was Googling my own name or YouTubing my own name just to see what was coming up. And I saw your video of saying like, what is going on with Kennis's channel? And you like took a screen video of it. And so you guys can look back on your channel to see what it looked like.
Yeah, it was wild.
But I contacted YouTube and said, hey, I think my channel is going to be taken down because of copyright strikes. So can you just freeze the channel? Like just freeze the channel. Don't let anybody do anything, and until this gets resolved. And they kept on sending back the same things. Like our internal team is working diligently to restore your channel, and that was basically that line. When they emailed me that line, I almost want to like throw my phone across the room because I'm like, as a matter of fact, last week I emailed them and said, don't tell me you're diligently working. Like if you want to just say we don't care and you're not a priority and we'll get to you when we get to you, then tell me that. Don't tell me you're diligently working. So anyway, it was about 6 days after they started spamming the channel full of content that YouTube took the channel down for copyright reasons, I assume. I haven't even 100% verified that, but I think that's what it was. And so I was looking at a place that had 50,000 subscribers at the time. Interestingly, when that first day that they started spamming it, I was looking just at the subscriber count, and it went down to like 48,000 from 51, and it might have hit 46 if I'm remembering correctly. And then I assumed just almost everybody that had subscribed to me was unsubscribing. Right. And then my subscriber count started going up, and it was like just people subscribing because of this spammed content. Like they like Monday Night Raw and thought, there's a channel uploading Monday Night Raw. I have a feeling they were buying subs too, because I was looking at it about every 3 or 4 hours, and when you see it rise
4,000 subs in 4 hours. I was like, that's a lot.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's why I also put in the video too. I remember putting, especially after Jay Steen, who is subscribed to both of us, he had messaged me and said, hey, you know, Kenneth put up a video on Facebook, and that's when I connected with you on Facebook and we talked a bit. And then I put in the description of the video, like, please do not unsub this channel. He's trying to get it rectified, you know.
Right.
But, yeah, the damage was done in no time.
Yeah, literally, like very, very fast. I mean, I would unsubscribe too, honestly. Like I mean, if nobody wants their feed with 1,600 videos, random stuff, you know, but I would have unsubbed as well.
Right.
But so where I was at 2 weeks ago is 2 weeks ago from today, or from tomorrow, I decided to go ahead and launch a new channel. And I think later on, you were my first sub on that. And then later on that day, you were doing your live stream, and I just got on to watch it, and you said, hey, everybody go and sub to Kenneth's channel. And man, it was like within like 5 minutes, and I went up to like 65 subscribers, which when you're at like nothing, that was
Right.
awesome.
Yeah.
And Shane from In the Blues reached out to his audience with a story on YouTube. And there was a bunch that came from that. And then some other people encouraged me to reach out to the guitarist, and he actually reached out to me, and I reached out to him at the same time without us even knowing. And anyway, he did it on his show. He talked about it. And then this last week on Philip McKnight's live stream, he mentioned it as well. So currently I'm at 2,000 subscribers ish. And I have, which is, I'm very, very humbled by just the amount of support that's been out there. And then the biggest hurdle, though, is the watch time, because you have to have 7,000 or 4,000 hours of watch time in order to be monetized. And right now I'm at 750. So, you know, if I had 100 hours of watch time a day, which I don't think I'm averaging that, but if I did, that would be like 35 days until I'm doing my math, 33 days or whatever until I would be monetized. But so every day I've just been uploading one of my old videos. Fortunately, I did archive everything, so I've got all those videos. So I'm just kind of picking the best ones and uploading those. I won't upload them all. It'll just be the best, or good ones that I was proud of. Some of them are just time sensitive, or
Sure,
from 9 years ago. I'm not going to upload those. So
Upside Down here says, play a couple videos while you're sleeping. And I was going to say, thanks to everybody that did already sub to Kenneth. And there's your homework tonight, folks. Watch one of Kenneth's videos, leave a comment and a thumbs up, and let them know that we're watching. And hey to Milt, Absolute Mayhem, Rick Hefner, a few others that have joined in, Poo Ninja. We're up to 47 watching here. And yes, Milt, I did survive NAMM without getting Namthrax, although I was dead tired for about 3 days when I got back. Nice.
Yeah, people have asked what the best thing they can do to help, and honestly, watching videos all the way through is it. The sub is great, but I've got a playlist that's just, I think it says Kenneth's channel playlist, and that just gives an opportunity for, like people said, hit the playlist and turn the volume off, and just to get those hours in. Yeah. I normally wouldn't ask something like that because to kind of cheat the system or whatever, but in this situation, because YouTube doesn't care about me, I don't mind a little bit doing that for this situation. But
I agree, and and it's not like you're just starting out for the first time. We're trying to reclaim what you had, so I have no problem promoting it, and whenever it gets into my brain, I'm going to continue to do that. I'm happy says he just launched the playlist. Nice.
Awesome.
Hey, PJ in the Beard. SD Design, thanks for the kind words. I'm the man. I try. Although I felt very humbled walking around that NAMM floor each day.
Yeah, what was that like? I've never been to NAMM.
It was year 2 for Winter NAMM for me, so I kind of knew what was going on. And but still overwhelming, And I made the mistake of opening my mouth a few times saying that I was going to be performing at a booth on behalf of Lawrence Petross Pedals. And so I had like Jay Leonard J saying, "Oh, I want to stop by and see you play," and various. And I'm like, no, you go do your thing. Don't worry about me. But yeah, nothing like playing in front of a room full of players. That's for sure.
Right.
Oh, damn. Okay. Upside down. Put that up there. Damn, sub to Kennis. Awesome. Sorry you have to go through this, man.
Thanks. It's one of those things that I always try to find the good in the bad.
Yeah.
And
same here.
I think that one thing that was helpful, or the good that I can see out of this, is my channel had kind of morphed into something that, not 100%, but there's parts of it that I didn't enjoy, I didn't like, and I felt like I was doing too many reviews, and it was probably about a third of my videos were reviews,
right? And
I didn't want it that many. If anything, it might be like fifth, maybe, or less than that even. So it allowed me to kind of look at that. Also, my purpose for the channel was basically to help musicians become better musicians in a fun and enjoyable way. Yeah. Sometimes we, as musicians, we kind of, there's this idea of, well, you just got to buckle down and practice, and it sucks. But I don't think it has to be the case. I mean, there's probably aspects of that, but that's the whole point of the channel, was to go, all right, well, how can I help musicians become better? Whether that's, sometimes it is a demo of a pedal saying, hey, this is how you use this pedal, whatever, it could help somebody. But overall, I think it's going to allow me to kind of focus this. Plus, when I first started, it was different than it was at the end. When I first started, Roland had released this pedal called the GR55, and there was nothing out there, and like I loved the product, and so I uploaded like 20 hours of content, and I mean I literally played through every single sound that it had. I had, I think, a dozen tutorial videos, and what happened with that is it kind of became like a GR55 channel for the first bit.
Right.
But then I think that a lot of those guys kind of fell off, so they might have still been subbed to my channel, but it was 9 years ago, so it wasn't like, it wasn't a current audience, I guess you should say. Right. And then one thing that I've noticed about myself is I've realized that, every person that subs, every person that's watching right now is a person. And, I think that when you get to a certain number, it's easy to take that for granted. It's easy to take it for granted that you go, hey, I'm going to upload a video, and yeah, it'll have 1,000 views within a couple of days, no problem. And, but I need to realize, like, no, that's 1,000 people that are watching that. And, 1,000 people that choose to go, yeah, I'll watch this video. And so to me, I look at it from a responsibility standpoint of, I need to make sure that the quality of whatever I put out, not necessarily the production quality, but just that I'm not just spamming my own channel, but I'm putting out content that is really helping people become better musicians.
Right. We have a question from the chat. Question: does Kennis go by Kennis or Ken? And what was your first guitar?
I go by Kennis, but I don't care if you call me Ken. That's fine. Let me grab my first guitar here. Hold on.
He's the rare breed, folks, that still has it.
This is my first guitar. It is a Aria Pro 2.
Nice.
Vintage Les Paul copy. This thing's amazing. It is a really great guitar. These guys, actually, I just posted one of my old videos on my channel of the story behind this guitar, entitled the truth behind Gibson lawsuit guitars, or something on those lines. Because I thought this was a Gibson, or was a lawsuit guitar for a long time, but it wasn't. Ibanez is the only true lawsuit guitar. But man, the story behind this was, when I was 9, my parents, they're pastors of a church, and there was a lady in our church that she just liked me. She, for whatever, old lady. I mean, she was old then. She was like in her 60s. To me, she was ancient when you're 9.
Sure.
And she gave me a ukulele for Christmas, and she would pick me up and take me to these like circle jam sessions with a bunch of old people playing folk and bluegrass music. It's like banjos and all kinds of those kind of instruments. And I would drum my little ukulele with her. And then about 4 months later, for my birthday, my mom came home with this, and she said, "Hey, Vera Haynes just gave you a guitar." And I opened it up, and it was this guitar and a Fender Champ, vintage Fender Champ amplifier.
Nice.
And yeah. And I was an idiot, and I gave away the Champ, thinking that, because it just, to a kid and it was a teenager in the 90s, it just looked like this old piece of junk, and I didn't realize that those are actually pretty sought after. At least they are now. And I wish that I had one, but every time I see one, they're like $600, and I just can't bring myself to buy one. But anyway, yeah, this is my first guitar. Thanks for asking.
Very cool.
I'll never get rid of this one. This one's staying here forever.
Yeah, you can't. And hello to Brian S., John Parsons, and I did miss out on Brian Landreth earlier, who's probably watching the replay. So hey, Brian, I finally got my Digitech Trio pedal from you. Brian sent a package of pedals to me to a buddy's place outside of Chicago before our trip to Summer NAMM, and I couldn't fit everything in my luggage home, so I finally had my buddy bring it out to California. So I finally got the Digitech Trio. Hey, Mark Fex. Good to see you. Yeah, keep those questions coming, folks. And yes, SD Design, Neil Sean did, in fact, rock some Area Pros back in the day. Hey, Ron Limber.
Oh,
Few people chiming in with their first guitars. Nice. I dig it. Milt, yeah, Ronnie Wood may have an area. He's got quite the collection, that's for sure. Let's see here. So going forward with the new channel, is there anything other than, like you're saying, concentrating on certain things? Is there something that you want to do on the new channel that you didn't do originally, or something you picked up along the way that's going to be more of a focus?
Yeah, I'm going to start doing more lessons geared towards everyday musicians. That's really where I think that my focus needs to be. And they can be I'm going to do all kinds of lessons, like guitar lessons, and even like technical lessons, how to set up the sound system and things like that. That when you get into music, you're just not born knowing. So some of those things, I've got this right here is a manuscript of a book I've been working on for 6 years. There you see it, kind of in the light, not showing up. But this is a music theory book. This is just in black and white, but I've been literally working on this for 6 years. This is the sixth edit that I have, and it's about 150 pages long. The title is the working title. I'll probably change it. I might do a poll or something to see what would be a good title, but it's reading or music theory, reading music not required. And it's from the standpoint of, it teaches it from the piano, which is pretty easy to, even if you don't know how to play the piano, it's pretty easy to see how everything is laid out.
Right.
And music is kind of one of those interesting things with me, music theory. I'm not the best player in the world. I kind of have my niche, which is actually more acoustic guitar that I'm good at. But what was interesting is music theory kind of became the first thing that I was really good at. And when I was growing up, I went to this really crappy school for like 1st through 4th grade. And my parents, my mom in particular, discovered that at the end of 4th grade, I didn't know how to read, like not music, but like words. And So she took me out of that school, and I went into a public school. This was like a tiny private school that I was in, and they just passed everybody along. Anyway, so I kind of had a little bit of an inferiority, self-esteem thing, and I tried to be popular, and I've usually been outgoing, but I never was popular, never was really great at anything. And then when that lady Vera gave me that guitar, I was good at something. I was like, all of a sudden, I'm great. Not great, but better than anyone else around me in my age. And then when I went to high school, we had this theory teacher she was awesome. Her name is Miss Croc, and I had friends that had a couple years older that had graduated, and they said, if you're going to go into music school, you're going to love this class because you're not going to learn anything new until you're in like your third year of college. And that basically was the case when I would study music in college and got my bachelor's in music composition. Anyway, I loved the class, and I got 100% in the class. It was the first time I'd ever gotten 100% in any class.
Sure.
And like some friends of mine that were in there that were like smart kids, they were getting B's, and we're like, man, this is so hard. So I realized as I would help them out, and in that class and even in college, I'd have friends that would say, man, I just don't understand this. And I would kind of tutor them a little bit and show them what the professor was saying. And they go, well, why didn't he just say that? It didn't just tell me that. That would have made a lot more sense. So I realized that I had a knack for teaching music theory, where it's understandable. So this book basically is the I equate it to being able to speak another language without knowing how to read another language. So if you were fluent enough to do things and communicate, but you wouldn't be able to write an essay in another language or something, you don't exactly know how all of everything works together, but you got a good grasp.
Sure.
I just realized that 90% of, especially guitar players, more than 90%, we don't know how to read music, generally speaking. But we play, and we want to know what we're playing, and the perception of music theory is, oh, well, you have to learn the notes on the staff, and you have to have this whole background of we're just not going to do it. So anyway, that's what this book. So I've been working on this. The reason why it's been for 6 years is because I'm kind of a perfectionist with stuff like this, and I should have released it a long time ago, just as a video series. But so I'll be releasing this on Amazon. My goal is to within the next couple months finally get this published. And I think because it's in such a niche, music theory, there's not that many music theory books coming out, that I think I might be able to get the word out and make it a Amazon bestseller, which literally might only take like 100 sales, but it could be an Amazon bestseller, and then make the video course and sell that. I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on some basic guitar courses. I kind of have this avatar of somebody that, maybe they 5 years ago bought a guitar and it's been sitting in a case underneath their bed, and they go, I need to learn how to play this thing, and me teach, a course for those people, middle-aged guy that, not going to be a rock star, not going to, go on tour anywhere, but wants to learn how to play guitar. That's kind of what I think that I'm supposed to focus on.
Right, I agree on that, and I can say for a fact, since I got a buddy who runs lessons at his music stores, the number one demographic for new lessons is middle-aged guys. Those guys, the kids are growing. Really? I want to decide, I want to get into playing guitar, and they're going for it. So I think that's a great idea.
Well, very cool. That's encouraging because it means I'm on the right track.
Yep, I agree. Brian S., how's the guitar giveaway going? It's going well. We had a slight delay. One of our subscribers here is doing a bunch of work on one of the builds, and he's had a setback physically, so I'm waiting on that. But I am getting the other guitar hopefully up and running. I'm hoping by the end of next week, getting over to a buddy to do some drilling in the neck and stuff for the neck screw holes and such. So it's coming. I had to delay it a bit between the move and then prepping for NAMM, unfortunately, but we should have it out soon enough. Hello, Eric C. If I didn't say hello already. Hobo Roadie, what's up, Doc? What's up, Doc says, any suggestions for someone in a very rural community that wants to collaborate with others? You're pretty much looking at virtual collaborations. It's not that hard with all the drop boxes and stuff. You can send files back and forth. I'm actually working on some music with a guitar player in Los Angeles right now. So that's, a continent away, basically. So yeah. Nick KB Music, favorite NAMM story from this trip. Meeting up with the fellow YouTubers and just guitar community members, and honestly, performing at NAMM was a dream come true. Who would have thought? You live in small town Ontario. Never thought I'd go to NAMM, let alone be able to perform there. All right. I think I am caught up. Nice. Hobo Roadie has his friend's computer, has your playlist playing right now, Kennis. I love it. Awesome.
Thanks, guys. And I see some of you guys are commenting that you just subbed and you're watching. I really do appreciate
it. Maurice says, better yet, best after NAMM story. Those stories we can't tell on air. But I'll say going out to dinner with the Johnny Bean crowd, and John Mancuda and JJ was there, Michael Smith, Music Therapy Laz. Oh, all kinds of people. That was fun. Check out Kijiji. What's up? You're in Canada. Put a post in your local Kijiji. You never know. Which is our Craigslist for those who don't know Canada that well. Brad Miller just subbed.
Do you guys have a Craigslist? Is there no Craigslist at all in Canada, or is it just Kijiji?
There is, but nobody uses it.
Okay. Ours kind of shifted here to Facebook Marketplace. That's where I've been getting most of my deals on recently.
Okay. I haven't got into that yet, but I should, because as a YouTuber that does demos, I have a list of gear I have no desire to keep around at this point, and time to move the stuff on.
Got a whole shelf.
Yep.
Yeah.
My rule is I'll keep it for a good 3 to 6 months after I do the demo in case there's follow-up comments, Because that did burn me once. I got rid of a product fairly quick, and somebody's like, hey, does it do this? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. I've done that before too. Yeah.
Hey, Mark. Good to see you, man. Great Vanzini. Hello. Lynette. Hello. Lynette says, I'm hoping to stack up enough speakers so I can collaborate with people in the nearby village. Nice. Nice. Well, I don't think the neighbors would like it if I hooked up half these amps behind me. So. Upside Down's bought a lot of guitars off Facebook. Nice. Oh, we got some guy named Kennis Russell in the chat thanking people for subbing. I don't know who that guy is. It's also nice to see if they have friends of friends. Yes, exactly, Upside Down. Hey, Papa Blue. Hello. That's right, Terry. Welcome to everyone that's been joining in late. We got a bit of a bump here. We got 52 people watching. I'm sure at least 23 thumbs ups. Maurice says if you don't use it in 6 months, it goes. Yeah, that's kind of how Mark here in the chat here got my acoustic guitar. He asked me, he goes, what would it take to get rid of it? And I thought, geez, I play it so seldom, it seems like I restring it every time I pick it up. So if you want it, it's yours, buddy. Awesome. All right, keep those.
It's funny, my niece, my sister called me before Christmas and said, "Hey, my niece, your niece, her daughter, she's 16. She wants to learn to play guitar. I had previously given her a bass guitar and an acoustic guitar. She said I want to learn electric, and she said, what should I buy and what does she need? And I was like, don't worry about it, like no problem. So I just went in my room and I just grabbed a bunch of stuff and grabbed a guitar I'd never played, and some amp and some pedals and things, and so I gave it to her, and she's like, "Well, how much do I owe you?" And I was like, "You don't owe me anything." And like, where'd you get it all? I was like, "I went shopping in my attic." Is what happened. There's just too much stuff.
Exactly. Oh, we got 38 thumbs ups. Awesome. And let's see here. Jay Steen asks, did I get to play the Keeley Fuzzbender? Did Albus get one from Sean at NAMM? Yes. Aaron did get his one of 5 Sean Pierce Johnson Stompbox Saturday edition Fuzzbenders. I also played said Fuzzbender and was blown away at how versatile it was. I really liked it. I'm starting to get into fuzz. I know, folks, I went on a few anti-fuzz rants over the years, but now that I understand how to use one properly and I've been hanging out with a bunch of fuzz players, definitely very cool. Actually, I played a bunch of fuzzes at Sean's place and then bought a fuzz box off him too. So, all right, ask your question again, Doug, because apparently I missed it and I texted you that I missed the question. So ask again, or anyone else for that matter. If I miss your question, please ask again. And my sister says, "You're awesome, Kennis Russell. Thanks for coming on the show." I think she's a little biased, though.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Brad Miller says, "I was looking. I do remember seeing your video on the Area Pro. I found one at the local flea market. I should have picked it up." Yeah, you should have.
They're great guitars. I love about this is, it even has like the binding has the the binding over the frets like a Gibson does. This is the only guitar I've ever seen that has done that. Right. I'm sure there's more, but this is the only one I've ever seen that's done that. And I've played other customs, and growing up, I used to think, oh, one of these days I'm going to get a real Gibson. And then like by the time I got to the point where I could afford one, not really, but sell some things and buy one, then I didn't want one because I realized that's just as good as the real thing.
I definitely agree. I remember when I was a teenager, it seemed like every other bass player in every band around here played an Area Pro bass. Super popular.
That's funny.
Let's see. Are you using multi-factor authentication now? Craig Tomlinson is asking.
I am. That wasn't how I got hacked, though. It wasn't a guessing my password situation. I guess I didn't go into that part of the story, but I've got a video on my channel that explains it. But what happened the reason I got hacked is a fake company reached out to me to see if I would want to test and demo a DAW, a digital audio interface, or digital audio workstation, and it literally was 13 emails back and forth talking about what kind of deal it would be and how much, and it ended with me saying, obviously I can only endorse something that I believe in, so I need to test it out for a bit, and if it's worth it, then let's do it. So they had a fake website and everything, and they said, "We'll go on the website and download the trial version of the software, and then once you do that, let us know, and we'll send you the link or send you the code that'll unlock the trial to the full thing," which is exactly how, like, I use Ableton Live. That's exactly how they do theirs. And so I thought, no big deal. Anyway, as soon as I downloaded that, went there and downloaded it, and I hit execute on the executable file, Windows popped up and said this has a virus, and I closed it down, deleted everything. But apparently this is all according to another YouTuber that was hacked, that I watched his video on, and he went into more detail and knew more about it than I did. But apparently the hack is it's able to make an image of your computer, what you have open on your computer, So whatever windows you had open, if you had your bank account window open, if you had, YouTube open or whatever, they have access to that because it's on your computer right then. They never had to log in. So in that time that I did the executable file, they get alerted through their hack. And even though it might have only just been a couple minutes before I deleted everything and got rid of everything, that was enough time for them to add their email address to my account. Once they're able to add their email address, it doesn't matter what I do because now they can get in whenever they want.
Right.
And I don't know how long they were on my channel. It could have been because I think that YouTube has a policy that, like, then if I were to add you to my channel, I'd have to wait like a week before I can transfer it to you as the primary owner and take myself off. So they do have a safeguard in that, but I mean, I'm the only person on my channel, so I never went back in the back end to see the other users on my channel. So they basically just kind of hid back there that whole time is what my estimation is. But I do have two-factor verification, so I can guarantee it will not be hacked that way. But what's interesting about YouTube, they don't really give a lot of information on best practices with stuff like that.
Right.
In the YouTube studio, they got all these kind of videos that say, this is how you grow a channel, this is how you build an audience, and this, here's your best practices. But they don't give any information on that. Like, here's how you protect yourself. And even these kind of like, what's interesting is this same scam. The fake company was called MuseX, MUSEX. I made that video, and the channel Guitar and Guns, or Guns and Guitars, emailed me or Facebook me and said, "Hey, I had the exact same email just sent to me," and he was like, "I appreciate you making your video because it, verified that I shouldn't do anything with this, but I'm not the only one. There's thousands of YouTube channels, I'm sure, that were hacked today from similar type of things. And unfortunately, YouTube just doesn't, for whatever reason, even though YouTubers make YouTube money, it's not a priority to get on it."
I agree on that. We had a question. We found the question from Cousin Doug earlier. As he is starting a YouTube channel himself over the last month and a half, he was asking if you had any advice for someone starting a YouTube channel. I usually tell them first, you got to have fun doing what you do.
That is good. That is very good advice. I'm trying to find the comment. Who made that comment?
It was the Down and Back with Corn Doug. It was quite a while back. I had him just text me the question.
Oh, okay.
He does a weekly podcast on the sport of cornhole, which is growing rapidly here in Canada, which is quite popular in the southern U.S.
What is the name of the channel? I'll stop right now because I'm actually
Corn Doug.
Okay. Did you say Down and Back?
Yes, Down and Back
with Corn Dog. Gotcha. I'm gonna sub right now because we actually hold on. No. I'll have to find it. I will sub though. I will sub because I actually love cornhole. And I'm not an athlete by any means, so it's that's a fun game because
it is.
I can actually throw accurately for whatever reason, even though I'm not super athletic. If you're starting a channel, these are some advice that I would give is, number one is make content, especially the beginning. Like, don't feel like you have to have the best content in the world, but just make content, because no matter how much time and energy you put into a video or whatever the case is, you could spend 10 hours making a 1 minute video perfect. There's two things that'll happen. Number one is nobody's going to see it really. unless it's a rare thing. And then number two, you're going to look back on that a year or two from now and go, man, that was not a good video. So making videos is just something that it really does take time to get good at. And the more time you're, I guess I would say, take advantage of the small channel, because you can use that time without it putting like a negative taste in someone's mouth to get to fine tune your practice of making videos and getting content out there. That being said, I wouldn't spam your channel. I wouldn't say I'm making a video every day just to make a video, but make a schedule. So get content out there, make a schedule, and have a time that you're putting out content. So if you say Wednesdays at noon, that's when I'm going to put it out, then just make that your time. That way people can go, all right, I know that every day or every Wednesday, that's when the cornhole video is going to come out. I'm going to make sure to watch that. Once you start getting some views, you can see in your analytics of what time of day is your peak time. Everybody will have their time that goes like mine. For whatever reason, noon was a peak time. I kind of peaked during the day and then kind of came down, and then a little bit towards the evening, but daytime was good for me. And so I would upload a video at like 10 a.m. That way, during the peak time of when my audience is actually on YouTube watching, which might just be taking a break at work, I don't know, that video is close to their feed towards the beginning. If you upload it at midnight, their feed on their subscription feed is going to have a bunch of other videos before they get to yours. So you want to try to tune those, time those to where they're in the right spot. And then I would say try to keep your videos specific to what you're doing. Because if you're like me, your tendency and your desire is going to be to make another video about another interest you have. And that's one thing that I did on my old channel that, like I said, I'm going to kind of focus more on this one. Is my other hobby is home theater, and this room right next to me is like my dream room of a home theater, and so I had kind of maybe about 20% of my videos were home theater related videos.
Right.
It's not going to help me really build my audience.
Right.
Some of those videos actually did take off and did pretty well. It took away from the normal person that watched my video. Okay, he's talking about guitars, he's talking about music, he's talking about these things, and then there's a home theater deal. So those are, I would say, focused. So if there's another, or if you do expand your scope, maybe talk about not just cornhole, but you're talking about washers or another game, keep it within that realm of backyard sports or something like that.
Excellent advice. And thank you, Upside Down. Put a link to Doug's channel in the chat there. Thank you. Poo Ninja does WTF Wednesdays at noon. Perfect. Papa Blue says, Ben, I've got a question. What do you do to stop getting string splits on your fingers, even after your fingers are hard? And besides super glue, what do you use after the split? You kind of answered the question. I use super glue. I don't split very often, but when it happens, it's always at the beginning of a set. And I always have a tube of super glue handy side stage for that exact reason. And more than once, I've yelled over to Mark Taft in the chat. He can attest. I'll be like, Mark, grab the super glue. I busted open a callus. And Mark will glue my finger in between songs.
Interesting. My fingers split, but not on the tips of my fingers, generally speaking. For whatever reason, they stay together. I just looked at the, by the way, the Down and Back with Corn Doug.
Yep.
Another thing you should do to your channel, if you don't mind me saying, is diversify your thumbnails. It looks like you've used the same thumbnail for all of your videos, with same basic thumbnail with different content in it, with different words in it. But as people are scrolling through, they're just going to see that the impression is, I've already watched There's nothing new for me to desire to click on. So change up your thumbnail somehow. Your thumbnail looks great, but change it up somehow, and then yeah, that would be another thing I'd recommend.
Nice. Love it. I just checked your channel. You are now at 2.02K.
Nice.
Very cool. Let's see here. You guys.
It is encouraging.
Import guitars, which personally, I don't care where it's made as long as it's made correctly and at a decent price point. And for God's sakes, offer a case on a guitar that costs $1,000.
Isn't that the truth? Thing to me, or it should be a hard case, and they offer a soft case. I don't understand that.
Yeah, and most of them don't even offer a gig bag anymore. It used to be the imports were a gig bag. Anything built, you know, in North America was hard shell, and now you're lucky,
right?
You even get a gig bag.
Yep.
SD Designs, will you be going to Gear Fest? I would say it's about a 40% chance I'm going this year. How about you, Kennis? Have you ever been up to Gear Fest?
I've never been up there, so no, I don't. What is that? The one that was in Germany a couple of years ago?
That's the one that's held at Sweetwater each year.
Oh, okay. In Indiana?
Yeah.
No, I'm not aware of it. That would be kind of interesting, though.
It's fun. It's
what is it about?
A mini NAMM. You know, basically most of the lines that they carry, they bring in the vendors and they set up 3 or 4 big outdoor tents where all the vendors are. And then they had another tent the year I went that was all used gear, flea market style. So local pawn shops had booths and stuff like that. And that's where I ended up buying a guitar, was in the used flea market area.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty far away from me. I doubt that I'll make it this year. When is it at?
Let's see. It would be the end of June in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So yeah, a bit of a drive. I did the drive myself. I think it took me about 10.5 hours to drive.
Okay. My wife's from Indiana. Might be able to swing something like that. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, Jay Steen's gone. I missed meeting up with Jay the year I went. And yes, I noticed that upside down. Joe did it again. Joe's getting nothing but Van Halen covers played tomorrow night. And if I'm playing them, that means bad Van Halen covers. Original Paramedic.
You know, it's interesting about the cases.
$100. Yeah.
I remember that too. I had a $200 guitar. I had a $100 case in.
Yep.
What's interesting is, you know, when you have a lot of guitars and you display them, your cases almost become a liability because you got to put them somewhere.
Tell me about it.
I think I've got.
I literally have
maybe 18 guitars in this room.
I think I'm looking at 14 hard shell cases on the other side of the room.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, there's Rob from Tesi Switch. Rocking the shirt, Rob. Excuse me. And just to prod Rob to update the website, I'm going to announce it right here and now that officially I am a Tesi Switch endorsed artist. So I am a Tesi Switch artist, I guess we'll say. So update that website, please, Rob.
Sweet.
And use coupon code Canucks and save 15% on your order at testiswitch.com. And it's more than just switches. He's got pedals. He just brought in Earthquaker pedals. He's got Keeley. He's got all kinds of cool parts. And I'm done selling Tesi Switch. Although we did have an awesome hang on the Saturday of NAMM. I think we spent about 2 or 3 hours together. Thank you, Upside Down. I will remind you again, Rob. I'll really remind you when you come on. I believe Rob is coming on the channel on February the 9th. If I double check my notes. Yes. So we'll have Rob from Tesi Switch answering all your questions on February 9th. And 1 week from tonight, I heard there's some kind of sports thing happening next Sunday in America. So I am doing my Super Bowler party, which is guest Sammy Bowler from Friedman Amplification coming on. So
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, yes, Brad. And that's right. At Tesi Switch, we also have the cool Helix knobs there as well, which I was checking out a set in person. Expect more on that down the road, folks.
Very cool. I've not been aware of Tesi Switch. I'm looking at the website right now. Looks like cool stuff.
He's based in the greater Nashville area.
Okay. I used to live in Nashville.
Nice. Great Vanzini says the PRS gig bags are quite good. I picked up a Gator gig bag, I believe, when I was at Sweetwater, because I bought the guitar and then I needed a way to transport it home. I believe it was a Gator or SKB gig bag. It was great. I still use it. And thank you for
these gig bags on Amazon called World Tour. They're just a cheap generic bag, but I've bought a few of them. I really like them.
Nice. Well, for me, it was a lot cheaper than trying to find a hard shell case for a Mockingbird, because those cases aren't cheap.
Yeah.
Hey, Metalhead Hippie, good to see you. Metalhead Hippie's been doing a bunch of live stuff. Check it out, folks. Saturday nights at 9:30 Eastern. I can't remember what he called the show, but it's definitely entertaining. I've tuned in a few times. Hey, Krellbar, good to see you. We're up to 57 people tuning in. Not too shabby. Dante, aka Old Man Dan, hello. BC Rich says, I have a decent generic case from my Mockingbird NJ. Well, that's what I have. Have to check it out. Bent Metal. Thank you, folks. Bent Metal is the name of Metalhead Hippie's show. Nice. And yes, Metalhead Hippie, I got your picks. He's been hounding me for 3 months to get him picks from NAMM. I got you picks. Hopefully I'll get them out this week. Yeah, Joe, I've been playing with the thumb pick, spring-loaded thumb pick. So it looks like a regular pick. There we go. Then it has a spring-loaded loop on the back for various sizes. Made all in Vancouver, British Columbia, except for, I believe, the spring is manufactured in Chicago. So completely North American made, too. And they are called Black Mountain guitar picks. Expect a demo it this week, although there wasn't much of a demo on a thumb pick for a guy who can barely thumb pick. Awesome. Everyone's saying hey to each other. What kind of picks do you like using, Kennis, since we're talking picks?
What picks do I use? I'm actually on both ends of the spectrum. This is a chicken pick. That's the name of the company, Chicken Picks. And this is a 2.2 millimeter. It's really thick. Almost, it's as thick as a bass pick, but it's made out of some sort of, it's almost like a tusk, like a graphite. Do you have one too?
Yeah, this is a 3.5 mil.
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, 3.5 mil.
Oh wow. Anyway, I actually Chicken Pick sent me these like 5 years ago to review, and then I actually never got around to reviewing them. And then I messaged him back and I said, hey, I'm making a new review, but why don't you know I've bought like 20 picks from you since then because you got me hooked, and I just have never made the review about it, but you got me hooked on them. So I only have like 3 right now. So when I'm electric, I use this, but on acoustic, I use the Dunlop. They're also white. Let's see, these are the 46.46 millimeter. They're like super bendy.
Sure.
And I started playing these because I kept on breaking, for whatever reason, the way I play my D string. And somebody said, "Dude, you just need to try to use a thinner pick." And once I switched to these, I rarely break strings. But it's kind of interesting because they literally are the 2 ends of the spectrum. They're like super thick or super thin.
Sure.
But
Yeah, Upside Down has one of my chicken picks, which I got from China Mike. And hello to Mars Man. Let's see, and Rob, yeah, we'll see what the reception is to the demo video, but based on what they were talking as far as wholesale versus retail, wouldn't be bad to get some in, Rob, of these Black Mountain picks we're talking about. So that was part of the deal was Rob and I, when we were hanging out together, we were hanging out in the basement of NAMM, checking out various companies, and it was kind of cool because he's like, hey, I run a website that, retail website sells parts, accessories, stuff like that. And then he points to me and goes, and this guy does demo videos on products and promotes them. So we're kind of a one-stop package. All right, see you Upside Down. He's got an early day tomorrow. Have a good one, man. Hello to Dwight Bailey, if I forgot to say hi earlier. Got 53 people watching. Awesome. So any other questions, folks? We'll go a little while longer here. Are you good until the bottom of the hour, Kennis?
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool.
What is the bottom of the hour? What is that? Is that 10 or is that 9?
9:30 for you.
Oh, yeah. We're good.
Krellbar says, I'm still dealing with Namthrax and I never left my house. Must have been a viral video. Well, Quentin James was saying he didn't watch any NAMM videos without a mask on. And I found the key to avoiding Namthrax is drink beer and whenever you see him, lick Henning Polly. Because Henning licks everything, so if you lick Henning, you're immune. Hey, Headstock Harem. All kinds of people jumping in tonight. This is awesome. Wasn't sure what the reception is. Typical of YouTube, you take a week or so off, and it seems like everything kind of goes down on the channel. Ooh, Headstock Harem just made pizza. Nice. We'll be over shortly. Thank you, Terry. I agree, Krellbar. We should, we'll have to get t-shirts made. Lick Henning. Although Henning's not doing too well either. As soon as I said, I see Brad's comment. And I just got word we got 53 people watching and 49 thumbs ups. I'm looking at you, you 50th watcher. Oh, Metalhead Hippie.
Nice. It's either Ed Sheeran or Blake Shelton. Those are the 2 that I get all the time.
Jeez, as soon as you said Blake Shelton, I'm just like, yep. What's wrong with that? Thank you for the info, BC Rich. So what's your main acoustic guitar that you play?
I play it's a Taylor 314 KCE,
Nice.
and it was the special edition back in 2000. Actually, it's kind of a funny story with that one too. My this guitar in the background, that acoustic back there, was the only acoustic guitar I've purchased myself when I was in college. That's a Alvarez, and I liked that a lot. But that was my main player. Then a couple years ago, about 3 years ago, went to visit my brother, and he had a close friend that learned to play guitar at older end of life. It was a lady, and went to, let's see, she in the year 2000, which would have been when I was in college, decided to take up guitar and actually asked a friend of mine. I didn't know any of this at the time, but asked a friend of mine to go to the guitar store and to pick out a guitar. And she's the type of person that would always, if she gets into photography, she's going to buy like the nicest camera. So whatever she does, she buys like a good thing. And she bought this Taylor 314 KCE, Koa back and sides, and Sitka spruce top. It's beautiful. I don't have it here. It's downstairs. And anyway, I think this was 3 years ago. We went to go visit my brother, and then I went to his church. And after church, we all said, "Hey, let's go out to eat." And while we were eating, she was asking me questions about guitars, and she said, "Well, why don't I bring some over and we can jam out a little bit this afternoon?" I said, "Fine, that'd be great." And so she brought over 3 Taylors and a Breedlove,
Ooh.
and I was playing them all, and they're all super nice guitars, and I said, "Man, this guitar is awesome. This is exactly if I was to buy a guitar, this is the guitar I would buy." It was, for years I'd wanted a 314 cutaway with electric, and so we played for about an hour, and I showed her some things and kind of gave a mini lesson. And she said, "So, do you think you would have room in your car to take one of these guitars back with you?" And she gave me that guitar.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, I started to I'm not really a crying person, but my eyes watered up, and I was like,
Sure.
"You have no idea how much this means to me." And I got to be honest, it is the nicest guitar I've ever. It really was like, I wasn't joking when I told her if I could buy any guitar, this would be it. Because and I was just complimenting her on her purchase, basically.
Sure.
What's funny is I went back, and one of our other players at church, he played it, and it was like he had just bought a PRS, one of their Paul Reed Smith acoustic guitar, and was really happy with it. And then was like, "Oh man, this guitar is way better than mine. I'm gonna have to buy one." He found one. There was only 700 of them made, and he found one searching for like months, and finally bought one. He found it in Florida at a Guitar Center. He shipped it to him, and he was like, "Wouldn't you know it? I've played it, and it's not as good as yours." So it that's my main guitar that I have. But fortunately, I've been very, very blessed with a few awesome guitars given to me, and so I'm always one of those people that I've given away a lot of guitars too, especially to younger players that are wanting to learn or whatever the case is, just to kind of give back, because people have given into my playing world a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm a big believer in karma, and you put it out there, it'll come back. That's for sure. And hello to the dog pup. Hello. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and I know those Taylors quite well, and they are nice.
Mm.
My sister says 56 thumbs ups and 51 watching. Nothing wrong with that. We'll take it. We'll take it. Very nice. So yes, if you have any more questions for Kennis or myself, we got about 15 minutes to go here, folks. And then I think I'm going to have a late dinner of some sort. We'll figure that out once we're off air, because that's usually the way it goes. Hello, Daniel. Welcome.
Hey, I was going to throw this out there. Um, not to just keep on asking for stuff. As I'm building my channel, if anybody knows other channels that would be willing to get the word out about my channel getting hacked and deleted, I appreciate it if you know. I'm in a weird place because I don't want to just reach out to a bunch of people and say, "Hey, talk about me." But sometimes if it's another person that says, "Hey, you should look into Kennis's channel." I know a lot of other channels knew my old channel, but anyway, I've only developed a relationship with 5 or 6 other YouTubers. Lando27, I don't know if you know him.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually Canadian also. He
Yep.
he
He
did
lives about 2.5 hours
posted
from
a
me.
bunch about it. Oh, okay, awesome. Anyway, but I've been really thankful for that. So if any of you guys know any other YouTubers, it'd be
Well,
kind of
just
cool if you
off
hit
the
them
top of
up and
my
said,
head, I'm looking at about 4 or 5 guys in the chat right now that put up videos, and you guys know who you are. So if you do videos and you enjoy this, you enjoy Kennis, definitely please maybe put out a little shout out video with a link to his channel if you don't mind. Thanks,
I'd
Sid.
thoroughly appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
There's a one. Metalhead Hippie says, does Kennis have any questions for us?
Yeah. How often do you guys? So I assume most of you watching this are tune in regularly. And I guess my question for you would be, if I were to do a live show like this, for those of you that have seen my content in the past, what do you think would be a good format for that? For like a live Q&A type show.
I like that idea. Yeah. Because I could see you doing a live Q&A, which would be different than mine, because I always get, what's a new fuzz box, whereas you might get some musical theory questions, like more on the lesson side of things. And I personally, I would say, like, if you were doing a weekly or bi-weekly live stream, have some kind of, not necessarily a lesson, but a tip, trick, whatever, something, a lick of the week or something like that, that I would incorporate as well.
Okay. I like that idea.
Thank you. I found Kennis, and I'm glad I could provide him the Wayback Machine link. Nice.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, so we'll see some comments as we get a bit of a delay here. What do you folks want to see when Kennis goes live? All right, Brad Miller says he'd love more info on your church gigs.
Okay.
I see. Now I like that as a guy. Like, I haven't been gigging for a few months, but I played nothing but rock bars, at 110 decibels. So for me, what I would go through on stage would be completely different than what you would do, and I'd be really curious to see that.
Yeah. That actually, I think that would be that would make a good. That would be kind of cool. I will do that, Brad. I will do. As a matter of fact, this week, maybe at rehearsal, before rehearsal, I'll make a video about that.
And I did see SD Design was asking, what studio monitors do you use?
I use these. They're called Event, EVENT. Let me see the model. They are tuned frequency 8. So, yeah, tuned reference 8 is what they're called. Event. They're awesome speakers. I knew nothing about them. My brother-in-law I'm in Texas, in Houston, Texas, and he moved to Austin for like a half a year, and then ended up doing a tour in Europe for a few months, and then moved straight back from Europe to Chicago. And he had all kinds of equipment that he had left in my mother-in-law's house. And so he basically said, hey, you can have whatever you want. So yeah, I went over there and, he said, anything I have, I'm not going to use. So if I need it, I'll let you know. And he had these speakers, and I actually had this thing just on the floor for like over a year before I set them up. I didn't know anything about them. I did a little bit of research on them, and they're nice reference speakers, and so I really like them. There's no way in the world I would purchase them because I just didn't know anything about them. But that's what I'm using is those event speakers. I don't know if they're even made anymore or not, but they're very, very, very nice. I look for in any kind of studio setting, even my headphones, it has to be reference speakers. I don't want the speaker shaping what I'm hearing before I hear it. I want to be the one shaping, not the speaker. So it's interesting because a lot of times I'm also in the home theater world. That's my other hobby. Is sometimes I've heard people say just get some clips, which is like a big home theater speaker. A set of clips. Those are great for listening to tube amp, record player, a turntable, and like those. That would not be good reference speakers. You need to have something that is got as flat response as it can be, not super bassy, not super high end. Just it's producing what frequencies are coming into it without shaping it. Anyway, that's what I use. They're 8-inch. They're ported, and I really like them.
Nice.
What do you use?
I don't right now. Anything I do home recording, I just use headphones for playback, some Sony headphones, and anything I collaborate on, I have others do the final mixes on. I just put in the the raw stuff that I hope sounds like me, and then okay, you guys work your magic.
Yeah, that's good. Headphones are a good route to go. People overlook headphones a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, bigger cans. I'll even throw in earbuds on occasion when I've mixed before because so many people listen through earbuds. And then, of course, burn the file onto a CD, go out to the car, put it in the car stereo because we're of that generation.
Yep, that's a great. Well, that's what when you look at like big time producers, a lot of times they'll have like these, multi-$1,000 reference monitors. And then they'll have like next to it like a cheap set, that might have cost $100 or $150, and it's because you can't just mix for awesome equipment. You've got to mix for crappy equipment too.
Yep.
And so doing that, and a great way to do that is to take your file and play it through your car system because car systems are rarely good.
Yep. Rob, he says, I think we can all get on board with bigger cans. Oh, Rob. And this is why I love you. And what do you do when one of your channel sponsors says something like that? And my sister just made me a little nauseous. Thanks, sis. I appreciate that. There we go. Change my ticker back. There we are. Hey, there's the captain, Michael Smith. Great seeing you at NAMM, brother. He's at Denver, Colorado when he isn't out on the road. Awesome. All right, I'm looking for one or two more questions here, folks. Okay, when you're playing keyboards live, do you just go through the PA system or do you use an amp?
In our setup, we use everybody's on in-ear. So yes, it's just going through the system. And in fact, up until right now, everybody's on in-ears. The only thing that we mic is a guitar amp. But even in the last little while, we switched over. One of our guitar players got a Line 6 Helix Stomp. And I think that's what it is, the Stomp. The 3-button one. Mm-hmm. And the amp and cab simulator on that's just spot on. So in church situations, when you're playing 10 decibels, people can't handle that. We do play contemporary music. It's you know, it basically sounds like U2. That's the style of most church music, is kind of that. But we run ours at about anywhere from 95 to 100 dB. And if we had an amp on stage, even a keyboard amp, it makes it uncontrollable to get the house sounding right. So everything in so hopefully that answers your question.
Nice.
And sometimes if somebody, we have had people have use an amp because it shapes their sound, even a keyboard amp, and we would just use the DI out of that into the system as well, and it wouldn't be used as a monitor.
Perfect. Yeah, fortunately, when I was gigging, the only things going through the PA was vocals, because one, I didn't want to run an extra 1,000 feet of cable to mic everything. And, most of the venues, they were telling us to turn it down, and we're like, oh, we got to keep up with the drummer. So sorry,
Right. Yeah. We've got our drummer in a cage. So we've full top and bottom, fully surrounded,
nice
acoustical foam cage, but it's plexiglass front, so you can still see.
See, that's what I needed. Yeah, too many years standing next to a crash cymbal. Wicked tinnitus in the right ear as a result. Thank you, Terry.
Man, that stinks. I know exactly what you mean.
Hello, Robot Master Switch. Awesome. All right, Gary Tholander says, scooter test drive successful. No more rear end whine. Yay. And he got her up to 5 miles an hour. You gotta love living in Florida, working on scooters. That's right, Michael Smith. Everyone smash that like button if you haven't already. It does help. You're more than welcome, Joe. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. And Joe, I do have your package pretty much ready to go out. Hopefully I'll get that out tomorrow or Monday. Joe was the winner of our holiday giveaway at Christmas time, and I knew he was down on picks, so I asked him if he didn't mind waiting till I got back from NAMM. And one of the things he's getting is a Jackson Guitars shopping bag from Michael Smith himself. Yeah, Mark Taft says, yes, less cables on stage is always a good thing. Yeah, because you were running most of the cables, Mark.
Headstock Harem says, Avioms for IEMs in your monitors. We use the ecosystem of the whole Behringer ecosystem. So I've used the Avioms. They're good. The church that I was at in Nashville had them. Avioms is very expensive. So to put it in perspective, I think just the brain that controlled all the intermixes used to, I mean, this was 15 years ago, but it was $5,000 for that. And then each individual monitor mixer was $500. So if you had 8 mixers, I mean, you're looking at $9,000 to get into that.
Yeah.
The Behringer ecosystem had we use the Behringer X32, which is a great board. And all the Behringer X stuff is nice. And they have this thing called Ultranet, and it runs over Cat5, and it runs into their brain, which is $100, and then each individual mixer is $250. But you can find them used, or you can find them less than that, but that's what the MSRP is. So it basically, if you're looking at, in rough numbers, $2,000 compared to $9,000. And there's actually some features on the Behringer I like better than the Avioms anyway. So I'm really, really happy with that. All of our band uses the P16 Behringer mixers, and then all of our vocalists use various wireless in-ears. Actually, I think all but one are in-ears that I was sent to do reviews of, and then I would do a review of, and then just give it to the church to use. So we actually that would actually make a pretty good video to compare all the different wireless in-ear monitors, because some of them are good and some of them are okay. But anyway, that's our system. And then in the Behringer, all you need is an iPad or a phone, and each singer can create their own mix for what they want.
Nice. Nice. All right. Metalhead Hippie asks, what is your favorite metal band or song?
I'm not really a metal person. I hate to say it. So I don't really know. I don't have any. I'm not opposed to metal. I just I'm not. Haven't really. I'm kind of more on the bluesier side of guitar playing.
There we go. Hello to John Windsor. All right. We'll go with a technical question for the last question of the night from Harley Hex. Can you do a video on how you would use the GR55 for your synth sounds through one sound system and your guitar through your amps? Is that even possible?
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, a GR55 is, I've got one over there, but I don't want to grab it. It's a Roland makes it, and it's a synth guitar system. It basically is like a Roland GT100, which is their guitar effects unit. It's got, it's kind of what the Helix did what the Helix does, but Helix does it much better. But it also has a synth section that uses a 13-pin connector that you have to have that 13-pin connector in order to do it. Actually, you know what? I will grab mine real quick because I'll be able to explain it. So this is the unit on the back. That's what the front looks like. They just came out with a new one called the SY1000 that I think it might be Boss, not Roland, which is the same company. Anyway, I think that they answered a lot of the problems with this unit. But anyway, back to the question. Everything has to go in through this right here, this 13-pin connector. And so I actually made I opened it up and I hardwired in a return and send so that I can hook in my guitar pedals into this unit rather than just using the internal stuff. So okay. I'm able to actually plug into this send with a regular guitar and use the effects built into the unit without having to have a 13-pin. But it has this on here. It's also got a guitar out, and that guitar out is your dry signal. So if you have your guitar
Is your phone dying? I think you're back. Can't hear you, though. We have backups, folks. We have backups. Still no sound, unfortunately. No worries. Hang on, folks. I'm just going to send him a quick message. No worries. I can wrap things up. So there we go, folks. We want to thank Kennis for tuning in. It's been an awesome time. And, thanks everyone that subscribed to Kennis. Definitely, there's a link down below if you're watching on replay. And we will get the sound issue. I just messaged you on Facebook as well, Kennis. Just saying, yeah, I figured your phone was probably getting low. It's probably on battery conserve or something. So everyone check out Kennis's channel, watch a video, leave a comment, leave a thumbs up on it. And definitely do that. And I will be back in approximately 21 and a half hours with Canucks with Guitars, NAMM wrap-up. We're going to talk about NAMM, various adventures. We're going to show off some new gear. Maybe, just briefly, we'll just do a... Oh, what's that, an MXR? Yeah, that's right. We got stuff like that. And I want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight. If you're new, please subscribe. I think I hit a milestone 1,650 subs today. Thank you very much, all of you that subbed. And I will see you all tomorrow. And also, don't forget, next Sunday, it is the Super Bowler special with Sammy Bowler and myself talking gear. So until next time, I'm Ben. That was Kennis. Hold those doors open. Let that guy in ahead of you in traffic. Do good things, and good things will happen to you because karma is real. We're spreading that love out there today, folks. Expect some karma coming back your way this week. Cheers. Rock on. See you tomorrow.